Hey, let's start a little bit early because I had some technical issues beforehand. So we're not going to start right now. There might be a little bit of dead air. I might go grab a coffee or something like that. But the Competent Man and Ronan, we got some regulars in here. You're saying that DT and the goddamn Bacon had some issues. Let me know if you hear me, because I also, my microphone, I don't know if it's got a loose connection or what. How am I coming in? You guys will let me know. I'm going to grab a coffee. I'll be back. You guys will let me know if you can hear me or not. It'll help out. All right. What's happening now? Can you guys hear me all right? You have something working and it just simply won't work for some mic cups. Google announced that people will not be returning to the office until July 21. Audio's good. Thanks, Juan. It took Juan. It took the Mexican to answer my fucking question. Like a bunch of broads. Dear, what do you want for dessert? Well, maybe if... Just, I don't need the thought process. Just tell me what you want for it. Come on, you look at this. Is great. Come on, you coughing prick, you coughing. God bless you, Ocean. Thank you. That made my day. All right. We might as well start. And we're going to get esoteric right off the bat. This is something I've been wrestling with my entire life. And I had to sit down and figure this out. And I think I figured it out. Because often the answer is there is no answer, and that the question you ask has no answer. So if you guys remember a month or so back, I did a podcast or something where I had flown. I took off from Vegas, flying back to the Twin Cities. And you're not always up in the air all the time. Why not look, that's kind of cool. I don't need to go to my phone. I don't need to play Match the Bubbles or whatever app it is. And I looked out my window and I said, there's Lake Mead. I know Lake Mead. It's the only, you can hardly, if you can't see Lake Mead out in the desert from an airplane, you're an effing moron. And you know that, that's the Colorado River and that comes from the Grand Canyon. And then we flew on the north side of the canyon. You can see it. Big hole in the ground that goes east-west. Then I noticed way off in the difference, I think it was Humphreys Peak. It's these two old volcanoes, basically, that jet out from the rest of the otherwise flat landscape. And that's where Flagstaff is. And then all of a sudden I started really like, holy cow, I know we're only about 40,000 feet up, however high planes go. I started realizing I knew exactly where I was. Though we fly over Moab no more than a week before, right over the trail, me, the great one, and my pain in the ass little kid sister that I adopted. I won't mention her name. We hiked, rode the Jeep, saw the hiking, everything right there. And I'm like, I know this country like the back of my hand. Made it all the way to Nebraska. So I knew exactly where we were. I could see the highway. I could see the Interstate 70. I saw Glenwood Springs. I knew where I was the entire freaking time. And the only reason I lost track in Nebraska is not because of the flatness, but because we got cloud cover. I know I can figure out the rest of my way because I know where the Missouri River is, and there's only a handful of interstates. You can kind of generally figure out where you are in the plain states as well. And this was a huge victory for me because I always wanted to explore the West, and we couldn't do that when I was young because we had no fucking money. My dad used to drive the truck, the buses out in Glacier National Park. He got to go, Banff, Jack. He got to do it all. I got to see all my student colleagues, my peers in school. They come back with pictures of mountain. So it was like this, and I didn't even have the money until I was 30, and I didn't even have the money then. I said, "Fuck it, I am going to go and do this. I'm going to go and do," and that's 15 years ago. I set forth and went on my adventuring, and I viewed it as I conquered the way. The unknown is now known. I know all the way, well, from the coast technically too. I'm a little shaky on the Cascades, but that's pretty easy to figure out. But I've been, I was there. I was on that mountain. I was on that peak. I was there. I drove through there, motorcycle. I knew it. The adventure was good. So there's a sense of accomplishment and a defeating of this gnawing thing that, gosh, 45, 44. Yeah, 45 years old. Couldn't do it. And so this point I'm about to make is going to be equally esoteric. And a lot of people, I apologize if this sounds self-centered, but I have a feeling a lot of you are wrestling with something similar. There was no words for it. No word. I'm going to explain it because I don't know what the words are. But it starts probably when you were a younger kid and probably annoys the hell out of you today. And so let's go in the Wayback Machine when Cappy was 2 or 3. All right. People say, "Do you remember when you were 2?" Yes, I remember when I was 2. I remember my diaper being changed. That's how good my memory is. I definitely remember being 3. I remember my chocolate cake with the blue frosting, and I do remember that. So we're going way back. Now, not to complain, but Cappy did not have a fun little childhood. Parents divorced, arguing, all this other bullshit. The Lord will provide. Dad was a pastor. You know what the Lord will provide, kid? Everybody sitting down. You want a Bible history lesson? You want a Christianity lesson? You know what the Lord will provide? Jack fuck all shit. The Lord won't provide you motherfucking shit. Okay? Government will provide more for you than the Lord will. Favor to all these Christians that go and spend all these kids and then they go on welfare. Arguably Mormon and a kid. Oh, they live off of welfare. But the Lord will provide. No, that was Cynic in Chief working hard. That was Juan working hard. That was me working hard, paying the taxes so that you could go ahead and spit out all those kids. Anyway, it wasn't fun. And we also lived in this town. It was on the outskirts of town. It wasn't even anywhere near Milwaukee. But the backyard went up against a farmer's field. Now that's all developed. And that was only developed within the past 5-10 years, even if that. So we were probably in the country, way out in the country. So no kids, no nothing, no neighborhood kids. There's a park you could go to if you wanted to. But this was right about to go into Booney Land. And so since we didn't have any money and things were really tight, and to give you an example, when we moved in with our stepdad, we were ecstatic because he had a color TV. And this was 83 or 84. We were also ecstatic because he had 2 floors, right? I'm not making this up. This isn't a shtick. This isn't, I'm trying to get pity. Look at me. I'm Ed Lattimore. I came from nothing. Wasn't as bad as Ed Lattimore's background, no doubt about it. Probably a little bit more stable. But we had no fucking money. And then you throw on the cult of Christianity, specifically the Wisconsin Synod. And the fact we just didn't go, it was down. I think we went to like a food shelter all the time. It was down in town. And you'd see feed for animals. And then there was like dog food. And then we'd get cans. And so I don't know if that was the food shelter we went to. But I knew we were so excited if we got to go to Kmart because we got in the car and we got to get the fuck out. We got to go somewhere. Movies, holy shit. Movies, I'll tell you another story as it pertains to me being an adult. Up until even the age of 23, 24, I thought any movie was a good movie because you got to go to the movies. There was this horrible movie starring a middle-aged, not Kiefer Sutherland, Donald Sutherland, a horror flick. I remember I was on a date with my girlfriend at the time. And it just because it was a movie, it must have looked like such a fucking idiot because it had no context, no culture, no background. And it's like the ship is a ghost ship, and they send another ship to figure out what's going on, and an alien virus is taken over and takes over the machine. It's all gross and disgusting. And we're walking out, and I said, "Man, that was a good movie." And I'll never forget. This is a taller black dude and his black wife girlfriend. He looks at me. If you thought that was a good movie, you got to see more movies. I was like, "What?" I thought that was simply because it had a plot, a beginning, and end, and a finish. Because it wasn't work. It wasn't working overnight shift. So you go back 1980, 1979, 1978, 1981. We get to go to Kmart and buy socks. So not only okay, obviously you're poor, but you are so stunted in terms of what the rest of the world is like. You have no fucking clue, no idea, no sense of taste, no sense of discernment, no sense of no discriminating tastes, no standards. Another example, buddies and I were going out grilling. I was still in college. I got the cheapest freaking steak I could find. I didn't know what a T-bone was versus filet mignon. All I knew, I'm like, that's $15 for that. But for $5, I get this big. It was harder than leather. Didn't. I'm like, oh, it's steak. It's good. And everybody else looks at you like you're this tart, because you are. You're like this statistical. Look at this idiot. He thought that movie was great. Look at him gnawing on this leather. He thinks it's steak. Look at it. He got a convertible. It's this crappy, shitty convertible. It's not. He thinks he's so cool. So when you are brought up poor, not only you financially poor, unless you've been exposed to other things, you have the experience. It's like, oh, you didn't know what Disney World was. You're a statistical oddity. You're an outcast in other regards as well. An intellectual outcast. Maybe not intellectual. A cultural outcast. You are music is another example. I didn't have my first radio with the tape deck thing in it until I was 14. All these kids like, oh yeah, man, Rat and Iron Maiden and whatever, Michael Jackson. And I'm like, who are these people? Tones on Tail. Did you listen to Vanilla Ice? Going to the concerts, coming back with their shirt. I'm like, what the hell? So you culturally become an outcast. You have no context. Then you can kind of see where you might start pissing people off because you're different in more ways than one. So I went to school, obviously, because you have to go to school. And the school we went to was a Christian school, so it was private because the Lord will provide. We already don't have the money. Okay? McDonald's was like going to Ruth's Chris if we ever went. But we got to spend extra money on it because we can't go to the public school. They don't treat Christianity. So we further destroy the family budget, going to this overpriced fucking Nazi concentration camp cult to maybe learn your reading, writing, arithmetic, but you get a big old dick of God shoved up your ass. And not Missouri Synod God dick. It has to be Wisconsin Synod God dick, because all those Missouri Synod and ELCA Lutheran motherfuckers are going straight to hell. It's only the 10,000 Wisconsin Synod Lutherans that exist anymore. Their enrollment's just ticked. It's great. So you go there, and now you get to taste the other side of the matrix. You get to see all these rich kids come in with the latest Atari game. Clothes, it didn't ever really, but I kind of knew something was different with the clothes. All the kids would tell you, oh, we went to Disney World. We went here. We went there. And there's pictures of mountains. And then the rich kids had like video. You could have like put the VHS. I think this even predate. I don't know how they showed it. Oh, film. That's what they had, a fucking film. Like the 35 millimeter. And they went on Adventure Island and this and that. And here we are at the ocean. And I'm like, gee, Pa, where are these faraway lands? Who dang diggly dang? Someday I'll go and see the ocean. You got Lake Michigan. Oh, gee, Pa. Simple Jack. It makes my eyes rain. Great fucking movie. What do you mean, you people? Anyway, so now it's painted in my mind. Now, maybe some of you might have not been brought up rich. Just saying. Maybe there's a statistical chance out there. One or two of you out there may have had not a similar upbringing, but you were Poe. And you saw this world and you didn't know. And the key thing was starting at 3 and only reinforced as I got older and saw other kids at school. The operating assumption was it's better. Everything is better. I remember we went to a kid's birthday party when I was a kid, and I walked into the house, and now that you think it's better, it was better. Yeah, it was better. I'm like, oh, wow. They got carpet on the stairs. Look at the size of that color TV. Look, it's a color TV. He's got toys. They got a backyard, and it's got a croquet set and all this other shit. And he's got a big thing was you have I don't know, it was a net. I don't know if it was for soccer, but the garages, I remember there'd be all these toys in people's garages. I'd be like, it's like walking into Toys R Us. So you got the taste. You got to see Elysium. You got to visit it. And since the house, the wife kept it in order and everything with the car. I wasn't into big cars, but I knew that was a nicer car than the rust bucket we had. And then we went to Shakey's Pizza. Hey, who's on the east side? Who's on the east side of the Mississippi? Shakey's Pizza. Anyone remember that? Arcade games. Kids got $10 in quarters. And I'd be like, save that. Like, they're spending it on arcade. I remember, I think I got to play 1 or 2 games. I got like 2 quarters to play. And then I just watched everyone play games. Burger Time. Anyone remember Burger Time? Donkey Kong? You got to see it. You got to touch it. You even might have got to taste it. But then you had to go back to your fucking far-flung ranch hacienda out in Unculturedsville, where you got to go and make paper airplanes out of old, what do they call, pamphlets. When you walked in, here's your brochure, sir. Worship the Lord God and fuck the Missouri Synod, those fucking Lutheran fakers. Then you went back. And so it was always better. Remember biking as I started biking around and going through different neighborhoods. I could see nicer houses. We'd be driving. You look at what today is probably just a rambler. It ain't this fucking McMansion they got over on Lake Wayzata. But just this, and then you started to wonder as a little kid, wow, what do those people got? Not necessarily in terms of finances, but like, not to delve to, like, do the parents not argue all the time? Are you not getting spanked? Are you not getting yelled at? What if dad just brought home some ice cream? They got to go to Kentucky Fried Chicken. Holy shit. Billy went to Kentucky Fried. They had Kentucky Fried Chicken last night. Wow. And so in your mind, you start to think there's this whole other world out there. This other world, and it's all better. It's all better. And in some regards, it probably was. And you throw into it this wonderment where I know it sounds dumb, but to not know north, south, east, and west, to not know where you are is kind of a blessing, because your mind, especially as a little kid, is allowed to wander. What's out there? I don't know. And I've talked about this before. You know what's out there? Highway 74. I mean, you'll get there in 3 miles, kid, and there might be a swamp, but it's Highway 74. It's nothing. And you know what that is because you've driven on it a million times. It's Highway 74. It's County Road J. You think there's dragons and monsters and samurai, and it's just like this. Your mind is allowed because of the unknown, and the kids always go, "Oh, there's a quarry over there. The strip mall is the gas station, but it's just Highway 74, kid. That's all it is. But what allowed you to dream a little bit, especially if you got a bike, was paths. Paths, whether paved or dirt, that went into the forest that you thought was as thick as the Amazon jungle, which would just go to the next development over the hill. And that path was originally used for like the guys hauling, lumber or whatever. Maybe the linemen were using it to install telephone, but the great Indian warrior tribes did not use this to battle the other rival Indian warrior. It's just, Franken construction, probably just, that was the trail there. But as a kid, you start to, what's out there? And there's adventure. You could go here and it's all better. It's all better. So now I get older. And you got to battle your way up. See, because we all need to force our children to go to school for 2 fucking decades. Right? So as a young man or a young woman, you're viewing like, okay, life, and you want to become rich. How rich? Billions? Do you even have the concept of a billions? But you want that nice house. You want that toys that John Johnson in the 4th grade have. You want to be able to take $10 a quarter and go blow it all away on the video games over at Chuck E. Cheese. Or skee ball. Skee ball was a big thing. Ooh, skee ball. Get the tickets. Go buy yourself some crappy plastic junk. This plastic crappy junk was like, crappy plastic junk the rich people have a kazoo. Oh my gosh. So until you get to actually not just peer behind the scene and get a heroin taste of that life, until you actually live it, you actually don't know what that life is like. And since you don't know anything better but the shitty piss-ass poor life, this is sheltered, not sheltered in a good way, an uncultured life. I don't mean, we went to the theater, drank champagne. But you just know your crappy life. You go to the community college, you go to state college, you follow your heart, money will follow. Got a degree, go, okay, whatever. I just want to play burger time at Shakey's Pizza. So you go and you struggle and you strive and you start. Now, unless you came from wealth, you don't know. You still don't get to live in Elysium. You still don't go live in the Waizaze. Now, the kids coming from Waizaze, the kids coming from the everyday I need attention, the kids coming from, what's another one? Anything that starts with a vowel, Egan. They've been living that life their entire time. And they only exacerbate the marketing, the propaganda, the niceness of Elysium. Look at those kids. They get to go to all the cool nightclubs. They went to spring break. There's another one, spring break. How many of you here have never been to spring break? Okay, Frank, George. Okay, most of us. Like, oh, what's spring break? Oh my God. Padre Island. Oh, they're all getting laid, having a grand old. And what do you guys got to do? You get to fucking work. So the illusion, the what's the word I'm looking for? It just builds up more and more, like what's behind it. Meanwhile, you go to a shitty movie, like, that's a great movie. Like, what? Girlfriend's looking at you like, what the fuck is wrong with you? No, I didn't. Big Mac, oh my God, this is flaming young. So they're going out. You see them. They're dressed nice. They're going to the cool parties. They got the house parties and everything. You're struggling to get by. And what I would do, still the main thing was the houses. So Christmas break would roll around. Everyone would go back home. We'd still have security patrol and all that. We'd stick around because we got that time and a half on Christmas and Christmas Eve. And it's just a good time to work. But I always permit myself to go drive around the side. I remember West Bloomington. Atham, look it up. West Bloomington, very specifically, because they had the best Christmas lights. I don't know if they do anymore. We went back to like 2-3 years ago. I'm like, yeah. But they were big houses. Now we're starting to get into like, oh, yeah, this is the real houses. These are the big houses. This is the beginning of the McMansions. And they had the lights and everything. And still not peering in like a stalkery way, but just like, what's that life like? Look at the lights. Look at this neighborhood. What's it like? I bet you they don't worry about anything. They're worried about jack fuck all shit. They got to have it made. They got a pool. This is amazing. And you're just left to wonder. Now, you keep living and then, okay, now you got to get out of your student loan debt, then a financial crisis hits or a dot-com bubble burst, and you never really make it. You never get to Elysium or behind the scenes or to like, I can actually afford my own $450,000 mansion home. Like, here I am. But what you do over the course of time is you start running into people from those areas. It could be friends, be colleagues, coworkers. And then you start dating the girls if you're a guy or guys if you're a girl. And then you start to realize, wait a minute. You come from the Edina. You come from the West Bloomington. You come from the EP. You come from the Waizaze. You come from the Orno. How do you have these problems? Wait a minute. You had everything paid for, but then your dad filed for bankruptcy? How could your dad file for bankruptcy? He was running 3 nightclubs in the Twin Cities. And the benefit that I had, that maybe most of you don't, is that when I started working in banking, and I started seeing people's balance sheets and income statements, I then finally realized what it was. It's all a house of cards. It's all bullshit. Right? Those kids that I went to like the birthday parties, at the private school and everything, we went to the oh yeah, our parents ended up getting divorced. The party girls or the party boys that came from the EP and partying in the 90s in the aughts, went nightclub, their parents like broke up and the house went into foreclosure. The dad who was the big swinging dick and look this up. This happened twice in the Twin Cities in the past decade. But there was some guy who was making a lot of money over on Lake Minnetonka. And it was all a house of cards. It was a Potemkin Village. P-T-O-T-K-E-I-M. Look it up. It was never there. The girlfriend I dated that thought I was crazy because I liked that movie. Oh, yeah. Mom, a fucking psychopath. And misery. It's just misery from. And then I look at the financial. I'll say it again. I worked in banking for 15 fucking years. I've gone over thousands of income statements and balance tax returns and income statements, companies' income statements and balance sheets. 2 guys were legitimately rich. The rest of these fuckers were all posing it. Less than 5% of those Mercedes and Beamers. And by extension, those houses you see with the cool. Now I imagine, for me, it was whatever, the baseball. There used to be a machine that would toss you baseballs. You could hit the baseball. There are other cool toys in the 70s and 80s and 90s. Nowadays, it's probably the bouncy house. Oh, Frankie Frankerson next door got a bouncy house for her. They got the bouncy house. All right. And now, especially now, you look back at it. It was all bullshit. It was never there. It was all debt. And they weren't happier. They are not happier. I wrote an article about, I'm on Lake Minnetonka. The only reason you come to the Twin Cities is go take a boat, rent a boat on Lake Minnetonka, and then go to fuck home. I'm not even recommending you go get Sebastian Joe's ice cream anymore because it's in Minneapolis and they've jacked up their taxes. They're paying a living. So a root beer float is $8 now. And I love Sebastian Joe's, but fuck you, Sebastian Joe's. I'm sorry, I'm not doing it. But out on Lake Minnetonka, which is where the Waizaze is. DJ Aftershock knows this. I was going on a, and I got friends. It's always good to have friends who have a boat. And my buddy's parents, they had a boat, so we were on the boat for free. So, and they lived on the lake, which is like, and you just be nice. And so we're driving past, and then the lady says, "Oh, there's Tilly's house." And the husband, oh yeah, they had to get an extra mortgage on that house. And even at the old, I was in my 40s, maybe my late 30s by this time. I said, get a mortgage on the house. I thought this was like, you got to be pretty rich to be on this house. Oh yeah, his wife ended up getting into some multi-level marketing thing to sell makeup and, you know, starting her business. And I knew, I'm like, hey, that's not a business, ladies. Selling makeup and wine parties and sex toy parties, not a business. Guys, dude bro, drop shipping, not a business. And I'm like, went into so much debt. You need to mortgage your house on Lake Minnetonka. I'm looking at this house. Not a man. Now, there's some palatial estates. Don't get me on that. But this was a good size house. And it's on the lake. I'm like, and then I'm like, oh, yeah, it's all plastic. It's all fake. And so now I know. Now I look at it, and that's what I'm trying to tell you. There is no Elysium. Oh, yes, there are rich people. Yes, there's legitimate wealth. But all this shit you saw growing up as a kid, all this crap, all this money, all this wealth, it was all daddy borrowing the fucking money. And on top of it, the happiness wasn't there. Not based on divorce rates anyway. Not based on happiness surveys. All it was a fucking house. And maybe you could make the argument they got culture. Well, they did. They went to this. They went to that. They've been to Disney World. They can associate now with, oh, yeah, we got our shirt at Senior Frogs over in Cancun. Aren't we fucking special? Ooh, we went to, I don't know, what's another common thing people do? We went to prom and went to the fancy dinner place. We went to the Pfister. Ooh. And you came back, yeah, your parents still got divorced. Your dad had no fucking money. You majored in stupid shit. And now the sheen is gone. The sheen is gone. So then now here's where the problem is. Here's where it gets esoteric. I can't shake it. That has been with me since, you know, when you are a little boy, a little girl, those are the very key, 0 to 5, very key development. Brain keeps growing until 25 or forming. And I can't shake it, just like I can't shake my desire for a girl with big boobs or red hair. I can't shake it, still thinking there's something out there. And I don't know about you guys. Maybe you got more of an intellect than I do. Maybe you got more raw intellectual power to override that. I can't shake it. I know there's no fucking Elysium. I know there's no fucking rich people. I know it's all fake. I know, but I'm still like, where, you know, what goal, what life, what else do you move towards? And maybe not even do I want that, but you know, what was there? Was there anything there? I have a distinct memory in Egan, another vowel suburb, visiting my grandparents here in the Twin Cities when they were alive. And I was 3, maybe 4. And we were in Egan. I know it was Egan because I was curious how the E and the A, like, well, that's weird. You just start with those letters. We don't normally start things with it. And we were in the house, 2 floors. You walk in, staircases go up this way. I think it was a rich buddy of my dad's. And I was so excited because not only was there a color TV, we got to watch the cartoons during Christmas. It was Christmas time. So we watched the Rankin Bass. Those weren't cartoons. Those are those claymations like Frosty the Snowman and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. You know, where the elf wants to become a dentist. That one. We got to watch Charlie Brown. I even know I could see it. You walked in, stairs, walk plaque, door, room, television, right there, fireplace. And do you want a cookie? Yeah, I want a cookie. Do you want some chocolate? Yes, I want some chocolate milk. Would you like to watch it? Can I watch the cartoons? 1978, maybe 79. 3, 4 of you. I had that, and I saw the other. I had that. I knew it was there. There was family. There's community. And still to this day, I want to know, does that even exist anywhere behind these houses out in the burbs? These nice houses. Where the nicer it looks, the more statistical chance. But then I know with my fucking math and my experiences in finance, it's not true. Was it ever true? Maybe back in the day when you had World War II generation parents, maybe some of the silent generation. Actually, Ray, there was love. There was family. They didn't get divorced. The kids love their parents today. They might actually pay for and visit them in a nursing home. And henceforth, now it's just been fuckery, you know, because be honest, all the financial statements I looked at were Gen X or boomers. They're degenerate pieces of shit generations. But did that exist at one time? Was there that family? Was what I saw on the outside what was actually happening on the inside? Was there an Elysium at one time? It's moot now. It's not going to happen. I understand it, but I can't get over it. I can't get rid of that program because it's so scorched into my brain. I'm wondering if you guys, you know, when we all didn't have the easiest path, like, do you have that, like, dang, man, not that you necessarily want to be rich, but like a stability, a better, like, there's this ideal. Like there's a home, there's a homeland, there's a status, or not a status person, but a stasis, a condition, a position, a place in life that you could go and like, this is it. This is what I've been looking for since I was conscious. Like, here it is. Oh, we can eat some good food. We're not starving and poor. We do have a nice house, not super fancy McMansion, but you know, there is a color TV. I can have a cookie. And I guess maybe above all else, there's some loving fucking people around. And not disciplining you, spanking you. Now, that's, of course, biased towards my dad. You know, fire and brimstone, love this bearded-looking pedophile fuck from the Middle East who died 2,000 years ago in theory, but then was raised. And if you don't, you're going to burn in hell, and this guy with a pitchfork is going to stab you. Like, I'm sure you guys have your variations. You know, like, grandma's there. You don't have to worry, like, can I watch 2 episodes? Or are you going to yell at me and tell me to do chores? Right? Oh, we can go somewhere? We have a car? We could go to see a movie? Oh, I get $3 of quarters? You guys know what I mean? Any of this make any sense? So now, it's like the mountains. But the mountains exist. The mountains are real. I could go out there and conquer them. I did. So all the way from Vegas back home. Could have easily made it all the way back to Minneapolis as long as I was watching, but then the clouds came in. This one I don't know. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to, Atham, look this up. Look up the Afton, another vowel, Afton, Minnesota. Now, I'm not very proud. I'm going to start at the Woodbury. Go to Woodbury. Actually, don't put the. There's no the Wood, but Woodbury's all like, oh, there's the house. Lots of nice houses there. What I'm going to do, I'm going to start in Woodbury. Not exactly where I live, but that's where the burbs start. And I'm going to walk to my buddy John's house all the way in the Maple Grove. Also, don't put the there. That's on the northwest side of the Twin Cities. And I just want to walk through, because as a kid, you didn't know where the paths went. And they got all paved roads. And you guys, I'm sure this is happening in your metro area. Maybe not so much in the South. I heard they don't do a lot of sidewalks and paths here. Everything's big paths, big walking, big. So you can literally, and Google will do this, you know, you can select car, bike, train, Uber or whatever. So you select pedestrian, you're going to walk it, and it'll give you a route. And I'm going to walk, which is going to be 40, 45 miles, all the way to my buddy's house in Maple Grove. And I'm going to experience these trails. I'm going to try and get lost. I know exactly where I am at the entire, that's just the drawback of being an adult and knowing, oh, the sun's over there. Okay, I know exactly where I am. Planes landing. Okay, I'm that far from the airport into its, you know, northeast. And I'm just going to walk, and I'm going to look. I'm going to, like, walk past not every house, but I'm on the way there. I'm going to be looking at the houses. Again, not stalking. And then see if I can't find that Elysium. Or walk the entire way and realize, no, there's not happiness in that house. There's misery. There's not happiness in that house. She's a fat wife. There's not happiness in that house. That's old grandparents taking care of their daughter's bastard kid. And now I could see it. I could see it like Neo. What's wrong? I could pick out everything that's wrong. walking there. And there's beautiful parks, city and state parks that I'm probably going to walk through. No doubt about it. It's going to be very picturesque. It'll almost be like a video game, beginning of an RPG video game where it's all trees and wonderful and nice. Like the Shire in Lord of the Rings. Everything's nice and wonderful. But I can see it. There's no Shire. There is no Shire. You know why? Because the Hobbit ladies don't have rings on their fingers. They're pushing their mixed race kids around that don't match. It's like, wait a minute. That's a white kid. That's mixed race. And that one is also your now pregnant woman friend coming with you. She ain't got no ring on her finger either. Not anti-race kids. I'm saying the kids, they're half siblings is what I'm saying. The visual evidence clue being they're not the same race. That would be the only reason I'm putting that out there. And what I hope to do is like purge it, not frontal lobe cortex. Like I know it. I know there's no Elysium. I know there's no happiness. But just to remind, like to do that walk, make it all the way there and say, not only is it known, but everything I've seen, there's no happiness in these houses. 3 million people in the Twin Cities metro. I guarantee you there's less than like 1% of those people that are actually happy. Like behind the doors, behind the facade of the nice house, sitting on the nice park or even on the pond or even on the Lake Wayzata, they're miserable. I don't say it to feel better. I say it because that's all I've experienced with people. That's what you have experienced with people. Most people fucking suck. And if most people fucking suck, it's not possible to have this dream world in your mind. It never existed. Maybe at some point it did. Long ago in the World War II generation, when you had nuclear families. Maybe. That's a big maybe. We don't know. Bit of interesting evidence. There's a big jump in the divorce rate once World War II started. You know? It wasn't like your grandma was this greatest, wonderful, most perfect. And then once they allowed for no fault divorce, a big spike up. More of a testament that this was nature, not, generational. But that's theoretical. Right now, I think everybody who's living and listening right now is alive today. Probably like, yeah, there hasn't been much good. Most people are a bunch of fucking idiots. Most people don't raise their kids. Most people are all about themselves. And there is no Elysium. There is no dreamland. And we know that consciously. I'm wondering if we can purge it so we feel it as well. I hate to sound so, touchy-feely, but you're just like, because what else? What else is there? All these dreams I had as a kid, like, what would this be like? Oh, they got a camper. They got a cabin. It's in the woods. Is Yogi Bear there? That kind of thing. To get rid of that wonderment, because it's not coming true. You want to stop searching for it. You want to stop yearning for it. You got to know what's on the menu. And by God, guys, I think we got it down. Some of you actually are starting to integrate it into your mind. Yeah, there is no traditional women. There's no nuclear family, or very rare. But this is another one of those things where it's like you constantly keep going for it because it's been with you your entire life. And it's so ingrained as a little kid. Just and so I'm going to do that. I'm going to go for the long ass walk. I'm going to do that. So that's it. I am sure I have missed a bunch of super chats. Why don't you all take a break? Let me pull up the super chats, get a soda water, and we'll get the things going on here. All right, I got it up. I'm going to go take a piss. I'll be back in a sec. We'll go through all those super chats. Okay, here we go. I apologize. You can't post these on the. Let's get rid of that. Hey, Jack Napier's in the house. When I go to the archive, I can't show them. All right, Cynic in Chief for $5 US. Getting things ready for my Western trip. I have 2 months to do everything west of Texas minus Southern California. Recommendations. Dakota's our first stop. 2 months, huh? It's summertime now. July, August. Yeah, I'd do to the north first. South Dakota first. Yep. I would skip the North Dakota Badlands if you did the South Dakota Badlands because the South Dakota Badlands are that much better. I would spend a little bit of time in Buffalo, Wyoming, just to go do the Bighorn Mountains. The southern Bighorn Mountains are prettier than the northern Bighorn Mountains, so Sheridan is the access point to the northern Bighorn Mountains. I would do Buffalo to 10 Sleep. Do that ride at minimum and maybe do some camping. If you want to do some hiking, I recommend doing that. I'd recommend Seven Brothers Lakes. And what was it? Lake Abilene? I can't remember what it was. Don't do Cloud Peak unless you're in really great shape and acclimated to 13,000 feet above sea level. From there, you can go ahead and go through Yellowstone and the Grand Tetons, but I was not that impressed with Yellowstone. You're going to see some volcanic stuff. That's the coolest part of Yellowstone. But I'm sure they have some great hiking out there. I'm sure they do. I just was not that excited about it. I would do the biggest thing I like about that area of the country is Chief Joseph's Highway and Beartooth Pass. And so explore your mountain area, but I'd head out north through Beartooth Pass. Going north, I like the Bitterroot Mountains. So you get up to Missoula and then go putz around the Bitterroot Mountains. Trapper Peak is probably one you could do, Cynic. Because you drive up most of the way, but then you got a 4-mile round trip hike, but you're going to be pretty high up, but the view is absolutely worth it. And don't just go to where like you see the ridge. You got to get up to the very top and it's worth it. So take your time. You're going to be tired. You're going to be exhausted for air, but I'd go up there. Cascades, maybe go visit our buddy TJ in Leavenworth. Beautiful area for some hiking. Those mountains are not that tall. And on your way out there, stop at Coeur d'Alene. That's kind of nice. That whole Wallace, Kellogg, Coeur d'Alene corridor is pretty nice. This is just hiking. I mean, if you want to look and just, chill out, pull over to the side of the road and do as much hiking as you want. I would skip Seattle altogether and go over to Highway 2. There's some great waterfalls on the other side of the Cascades from Leavenworth. But I would then go back up into Leavenworth and maybe drop down through Yakima, cut over Chinook Pass, and then hook up south of Tacoma to the highway there. Then I would do the Astoria, Oregon, Cannon Beach, Hebo. And then that gets interesting. I would cut in to Salem, drop south to Eugene, and there's a road. You go southeast towards Klamath Falls. You have to see Crater Lake. Crater Lake is awesome. I do Crater Lake on your way to Klamath Falls. There's a nice diner in Klamath Falls. Then, now you're in high plains country, and it's somewhat pretty. And you're on that corner of Nevada there. I'd then just make a run to Reno. If you want, go to Lake Tahoe. It's a big round lake up in the mountains. Drive around. Oh my God, I've been to Lake Tahoe. I'm a Californian. Oh, vote other people's money to make me feel good. Oh. Vegas, definitely do Vegas. Definitely go to Vegas. If you can fit Yellowstone in it, yeah, maybe do Yellowstone. There's a back entrance to Yellowstone on your way down to Reno. Maybe do Yellowstone. Yellowstone was Yosemite. I'm sorry, Yosemite, not Yellowstone. Yosemite is worth it. But then I would not go down the west side of the Sierra Nevada. I go down the east side Drive through Death Valley. That's some really cool up and down hills and curvy roads. You're just going through Death Valley. Death Valley itself is not anything exciting. Then you get to Vegas, hang out in Vegas, and then things should be getting a little bit cooler. And from Vegas, I would then go into Utah. And I would definitely hit Zion, Bryce, Capitol Reef, and Moab. Moab, you're going to have Arches and Canyonlands National Park. Do all the hikes in Moab, the local ones, especially Corona Arch. Not making that up. It's called Corona Arch. Negro Bills Canyon. That's what it's called. It's the proper name. They're celebrating a black guy, and the word Negro was an acceptable word back then. I'm sure you Nazis will go and destroy that man's name and change it into something different. African-American Bills Canyon. Oh, how fun was that? That's a cool canyon to hike. Do Highway 128. Yeah. Then out of Moab, do 128 to Grand Junction, Colorado. Take that south through Gateway. And then what you want to do is empty back out somewhere near Montrose or Delta and then go through the Uncompahgre Mountains. So you want to do Ouray, O-U-R-A-Y, Silverton, and then Durango. Maybe hang out in that mountain range a little bit. That's a beautiful part of the town. Get to Durango. I don't know. If you want to do more in Colorado, you can. You go a little bit more. Oh, Black Canyon. You got to do Black Canyon near Montrose and Delta. You got to do that. Then Silverton, Durango. Then I go to Cortez, and Cortez is a fun little town. I like Cortez a lot. Maybe you won't like it, but I like it. They got Canyon of the Ancients. You got to hike that. That's free. Don't do Mesa Verde National Park. Don't bother with Four Corners. And then from Cortez, now if you got 2 months, it should be into September. Things may not be that hot anymore in Arizona. I'm just saving Arizona for last. And then go past Mexican Hat. Go through Monument Valley. Go to the town called Cayenta, Arizona. Cut over to the Grand Canyon. Go to Flagstaff. If you want to see the Grand Canyon, go see the Grand Canyon. If you don't want to hike the Grand Canyon, go there, look at it, take your pictures, maybe feel good about yourself. And man, what's the meaning of life? You'll be like, well, the canyon ain't going anywhere, and I'm not going to hike it, and then turn around and leave. Do the Griswold thing. Oh, okay, there it is. Let's go. Wait, Clark. It's like, no, Clark was right. Okay, let's go, because it's there. Unless you're going to hike it, it's just, that's all it is. Then go south of the Sedona, Jerome, Prescott. Do that route. Then you go into Phoenix. Phoenix is a great town if you're a city guy. There's plenty of hiking to do, plenty of golfing. If you want to bum in Phoenix for a while, that's cool. But if you're bored with that, recommend going down to Tucson, do Sabino Canyon. It's a wonderful hike. If you want to keep going further south just to see stuff, I'd say go to Bisbee and Tombstone. Tombstone, overrated. It's there. You historically have to hit Tombstone first on your way to Bisbee. Bisbee's really cool, but it's not more than half a day thing. And then after that, what I would do is go back to Phoenix and make my way to the Superstition Mountains. You have to do Apache Trail and then get up to Miami, Arizona, check out that old abandoned mining town. They kind of double back and go towards Globe on your way to Salt Canyon. Salt Canyon's on the Indian Reservation, but it's still pretty cool to see. From there, I would make my way back north, check out the crater along Highway 40. That's 50 miles to the east of Flagstaff. Painted Desert National Park is cool. And then you should be done. There's not much in New Mexico that I recommend. You can go to White Sands, New Mexico. Oh, look, a bunch of white sand. Yeah, they dropped a nuclear bomb here. And then you leave. And then you're on your way back to Texas. Where did that go? Adriano Ramos, how's your love nest construction going along? It's not. It's just not. Haven't even pulled the permits yet. It's one of those things where I'm just letting it go. I'm not going to get too angry about it. I'm not going to get worked up about it. because I don't control it now. It's like, hey, I've given you everything you guys need. And it is increasingly tempting. Like if this doesn't get built, it's increasingly tempting to just take all my cash and just like, go overseas, do my reconnaissance of Central Europe and Southeast Asia and other countries in between, and find the new place and buy some small little hut in some, I don't know, Croatian or Moldovan village that has good internet, and then just call it quits. Just be like, okay, it was my dream to live in South Dakota, and I really, but if it's going to be, if it's going to be this difficult, if we're essentially at a second, and I've talked about this before, these are mint pills. Got peppermint to help with my throat. Where every decision has to be the Wyoming 3. Not every decision, every task has to be the Wyoming 3. Where I have to tell people 3 times to do something. That is the beginning of the collapse of your society. When the individual cellular units, humans, need to be told, are doing things wrong twice, or need to be told to do things 3 times. Or I'm asked the same question of a variety of ways to give them the same answer. That grinding down my speed at which I can go, I can't do that. If forget financial or genuine progress, it's the mental pain. It's the absolute mental torture. And so it's just, for me, all right, maybe I just go to a completely different culture. Why don't I even speak the language, so I can't even ask people anything? And then the nice Thai lady comes in, brings me my breakfast every morning, and I pay her $5. She's so excited because now our family can go to college or whatever. I just so that's it. Is a 9-to-5 safe job so bad that should be looked down upon? This is Rahul, by the way, our Indian agent in the field. Look down, 18 years as a railway employee. I'm financially far better off than most entrepreneurs who spend all their capital on that. Yeah, no, it's I got a request here today. We'll get to some asshole consulting later on. I got a regular job, but then I could do some contracting. I want to start a business. It's like, okay, I'm all for self-employment. I am. But that's what contracting is. You are self-employed when you're a contractor. But all these guys are like, I'm going to start a company. I'm going to make it big. It's like, really? And so the advice I give people is, you know what? You want to make extra money? Yeah, I want to get my business. Go work a second job. Go work as a security guard. But no, I want to make it. No. You're not going to make it big because you either don't have the wherewithal. You don't actually have a good idea. You're throwing shit up against the wall and hope something sticks. And you're going to overinvest your capital, deplete your savings, like you said, Rahul. No, there's nothing wrong. Yeah, I'm kind of curious. What if it has something to do with the British? Because if you're a railway employee, not only key to Britain, but key to India, and also obviously key to the United States history. But people in the railroad companies do very well. They got their own retirement system. Good union. A buddy of mine worked in the railroad, I think NB, Northern Burlington. In any case, so he's like, oh, hey, what size shoe you wear? I'm like, oh, about 10, 9.5. He says, hey, I got some used boots. You want them? I'm like, used boots? Like, yeah, they're a year old. He gave me like a practically barely broken in brand new pair of Red Wing boots. Oh, they're wonderful. Wonderful. And I wore those suckers out. I'm like, oh, I got to get myself some more Red Wing boots, but they're very expensive. But that was part of their contract. They got a new pair of boots every year. I'm like, dang, they got the setup. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Like if there's entrepreneurs, and as Mark Cuban says, because I don't want to plagiarize him, Mark Cuban says there's wantrepreneurs. Most of the people I've run into are wantrepreneurs. And be strong for $2. Do you think they will do away with paper money? Yeah. I mean, we already have essentially. Yeah, we already have done away with paper money. All right, is that it? Let me go to the updated super chats. I should have just hit refresh. There's Scott. Be strong. Oh, good. Okay, we're caught up, or at least I haven't missed any. Scott Ludke for $5. The world you would like to live in requires people who will plant a tree knowing they will never sit under it for shade. Yeah, it really is the people. You know, it wasn't like, oh, okay, my buddy Brett had cooler toys than me. Well, maybe it was that when I was 7 years old or 8 years old. Maybe it was the toys. I just remember like grandparent age adults treating us way better, which old people are supposed to do, I guess. And you just go in and it was just like this nice, I'm sure we were visiting friends or something like that. And there'd be like really good food. And yeah, do you want to watch TV? Oh, do you want some ice cream? Like, you know, standard grandma bullshit. Oh, here's a little boy. Here's a little girl. Let's pamper the shit out of them. Like, yeah, pamper the shit out of me. Well, yeah, I want sprinkles. You got sprinkles? What are you, rich? You got the colored sprinkles? Man, we're living it up here in Richfield. Oh, Spider Tech 500 for $5. Opinion on different military branches. I'm electrical engineering in college, but want to go Marine Corps reserved for discipline, grit, and toughness as benefits. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't been in any of them. The standard stereotypes is the Marines are the badasses. That's the hardest. Then comes the Army. Then I guess the Navy. And then there's the Chair Force, as people affectionately call them. But yeah, the Marines are the toughest ones. Maybe the last one where there's any kind of masculinity left. I know they're kind of pussifying the training and everything. People are helping girl recruits do push-ups or pull-ups, rather. No, I don't know. Why don't you research it and find out? What's it like to be a Marine? Jay Kenny for $2. He has nothing to say. Thanks, Kenny. Or Kenny, sorry. Big Tails Ghost Son for $5. We've all been sold a dream that was not achievable. And once you realize it's not there, the mind doesn't come back because the belief is that it exists. Yes. I know it doesn't exist, but I can't physically rewire the synapses in my brain and the neurons of that part that was so critical during my development to get rid of that dream, that desire. I guess it's a lot the same with gals. You think there's going to be this cool gal who's got a high IQ and she's really neat and she's clever and she keep up with your jokes. She'll cover your sixes. She'll shoot a gun because that's what we were told women were. We're told, and they're libertarian and this and that. And that. No, they're all pretty basic. They're all sheep. Every great once in a while you find a unique one, but comes nowhere near close to what you had on paper. Nowhere near. What? There's a perfect, okay, let me write it. This is what I want. 6 things. We got a girl who's only 40 pounds overweight. Will that suffice? No. What? You said that they were this and that and then. It's such a crippling thing as you get older and older and you look and you realize people suck. That's basically what no, you're not going to, even if you did have that house in the burbs. I have an agent in the field. He lives in one of the more posh suburbs within the major U.S. city. And the stories he tells me about, you just peer behind I was like, oh, this is a shit show. She's about to leave him. She hates his guts. He's living paycheck to paycheck. He couldn't bluff for a larger pay because they just got a brand new whatever SUV. It's not, and you pull in, you think, whoa, this is where the people who made it live. Nope. It's not where the people who made it live. And you're like, oh yeah, everyone kind of sucks. I'm going to go golf. Or some people say Space Ghost. I'm not to judge what you do with your free time. Chimp Roshi for $2. Hey, it's Vash the Stampede. Thoughts on being a video editor as a career path? No, that's not a thing. Yeah, go teach yourself. It's a hobby. Go do it. I video edit. I downloaded some software. I taught myself how to do it. You're asking like, what about being a Photoshop editor as a career path? Go teach yourself. All right, go be a video editor. Go build up a resume. Work on some things. And then get a website and show your document, highlight your work. Maybe people will hire you. When you're done avoiding real work, not to say video editing isn't real work, but when you could do that on the side, that's fine. when you want to join the real world, realize that's a hobby and your dream, and you got to get a real job, then maybe, you know, guys, there's no, I come out of my mom's vagina and now I'm an entrepreneur. There's a little bit of a transition period there. If I didn't know, you have to do something. It's not like, oh, I graduated from high school. Now I'm an entrepreneur. I make my six figs. No, you must wander the desert to figure out what everybody else in the world wants, what's in demand, how the real world works. And you must support yourself in the meantime, unless, you know, like you're on Trump bucks or you're a Democrat or a socialist. I guess everybody now, because just Trump gives away money. It was like, oh, I guess that R meant something next to your name, not. You need to go work. To stop asking me these privileged American chick questions of, what can I do to avoid work and go straight to working my dream? Suck dick. I really go internet account friends only. Go do that. And then maybe you can work with the children. I don't know what it is, guys, but do some fucking thing to work until your career, your business idea takes off, if it ever takes off. Are we done? Are we caught up? We are. All right, let me get through. We're going to do abbreviated sponsors because I've been very kind promoting people, and they don't promote me back. So let's do this. I'm going to promote myself. The Rule Zero Vegas seminar. I have two tickets left. If you want to attend, let me know, and let me know ASAP. Roll said he might have some extra tickets to give away, but we'll see. But right now, I am only authorized to give away 10. 8 have been sold. There's 2 left. Early October, $999. Eat a bag of dicks if you don't like the fact I'm charging for it. It's not just me charging for it. There's 9 other speakers that are going to be there, or at least 8. Over the course of 3 days. It's going to be more fun. There will be speeches. Each guy's going to give an hour speech. But then it's spread out over 2 days, so we're not like waking up at 6 a.m. We're going to have fun, go out, do things, meet and greet, mingle, and then each guy's going to go do their own thing. I'm kind of hoping to attend several of these guys' events. I'm doing the Death March up, Cappy's Death March up Bridger Mountain. That's going to be a 14, 15-mile hike with a 3,500-foot elevation gain. And you can do it. We're going to start in the morning, so the slackers can actually make it, but it's possible to do. So go train up if you want to attend. Anyway, if you're interested, email me, cappedcapitalism@yahoo.com. CAPT, not captain, capped. The abbreviation for captain, cappedcapitalism@yahoo.com. And I'll give you the details if you got any. And, you know, only email me if you know you want to come. If you got questions like, hey, what else is it? I understand it. Email me those questions. Well, do you think you might have? No. Do you want to go or not? Yes or no? Email me. That's it. What about the? I understand it. So no, just if you want to come, come. If you don't want to come, don't email me. What else we got? There we go. So there you go. I have a new Patreon account, and it's called Subscribestar. Subscribestar.com/Aaron Clary. I've uploaded all my old road trip podcasts there that used to be on Patreon, which are no more. So they're there. And I think I got it pretty figured out. The layout's pretty good. I think the minimum donation, unfortunately, is $2. You can't make it lower than that. So it's $2 a month. You can make a one-time donation. All the proceeds go to my septic tank fund of the house that may one day, in theory, be built. I also have a BitChute account, but there's nothing there. I also have a Discord. There's nothing there. Tom Likas is back. Guys, we're looking for Tom Likas. He's back. Want to give a shout out to him. And then there's a new text game thing. It's not a text game. It's just how to text girls. Howtogetthegirls.net. You go there, it takes you to some other website. It's a tutorial. Who else is actually sponsoring me? Oh, Rodrigo. He has his Doors coding school. I'll put that into the thing. DORS coding school.com. Okay. If you're looking to, where did it go? Here it is. I'll put that in the chat room there. You don't want to go to school. I understand. You just want to go to a good coding boot camp. Rodrigo, he did the same thing. He went to coding boot camp. He said, I could do better than this. So he's a programmer now. So he put together that school. So check that out if you're looking for something. Cappy, what computer language should I learn? I don't fucking know. I'm not a computer programmer. Jesus fucking Christ. Better Bachelor. Check out Better Bachelor on YouTube. Check out our good friend. He's brave and stunning. Just came out of the closet a week ago. Jack Napier. There we go. Jack Napier. And this ragtag band of geekery idiots over at masculinegeek.com as well. So search Jack Napier on YouTube. Search Masculine Geek on YouTube. And you can check out those guys there. Turd Flinging Monkey. He's got a couple things, namely his podcast. You could find that on BitChute. And he also has a book out called 13 Rules Not to Be a Fucking Cuck. And it's an okay book. Not bad. Not bad. Just be aware. He'll have his own spin about robot sex dolls and taking away women's rights, which once again, I disagree with. But he is one of the rare guys that says, hey, I will advertise you if you advertise me. It's like, yeah, let's do that. And I do love his economic analysis. I do believe he has a degree in economics. There's no way he's talking like that without a degree in economics, or he's very well read on economics. And then on woke, this is, let me go here. Unwoke.hr. There we go. There's a new website out there. This is not, this isn't a sponsor. I just found this. Someone sent this to me. So there's a website called unwoke.hr. And it's basically a job board for employees and employers who are not activists. It says hire thinkers, not activists. Hire courageous, free-thinking, and freedom-loving individuals, not ideologues whose only agenda is to weaponize your brand and business to further a radical cause. And so it's just a job board for those of you that are looking to go work at an unwoke company. Unfortunately, of course, there's more applicants than there are jobs. So people are posting their resume and their profile. And then there's a handful of companies that are hiring as well. But I just wanted to spread the good word out there about that because that is absolutely what is needed. 953. Okay, good. Just making sure I'm not missing anyone's donations. There's one here. I'll click on this so I don't lose my place. Investing equanimity. Here we go. Get this book. Eric Dolores. He wrote this book about Harry Brown, libertarian candidate. He came up with this investing, the permanent portfolio, where it's a quarter gold, quarter cash, quarter bonds, quarter stocks. For those of you who are interested in economics and investing, get this book. It's a very simple investment strategy. And you could go, I'm not going to go into it now. I don't want to take away from the book because we have that there. What else? We did that. Pushing Rubber Downhill, my good friend Adam Piggott. When you're done tuning into me, you can go to pushingrubberdownhill.com and then tune into Adam's podcast. And not only does he have a podcast there, it's his blog and it's also his platform in which he sells two of his books, Pushing Rubber Downhill, the book, and Run Guts Pull Cones. Pushing Rubber Downhill is an absolute must read. And I'm not saying that you have to go read it, because it's the practical application of everything we talk about here. There's theory, there's academics, there's, on paper, Pushing Rubber Downhill is where you watch the boy just fuck up, just get the ever-living shit kicked out of him by life, and he slowly puts it together and comes out forged as a better and stronger man. So you got that there. Academic composition, go to academiccomposition.com. If you want to have other people write your papers that you don't want to, which I think Alex's business is going to be booming this upcoming quarter. I think he's gonna, because everything's going to be online because teachers can't teach or professors can't profess. I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of demand for him. So if you want to have someone else write your papers for you, or you would like to write papers for other people and get paid, Alex is always hiring. Go to academiccomposition.com and tell him the captain sent you. And then hang on, let me pull this up. Put this in the chat room here. The science of mastering women, the real truth about women that will change your life forever. And I will put that as by Linda Gross. You might also like to check out her podcast. Just search Linda Gross Podcast. And that book, you like, how do I get the girls without going to the gym? Well, here's how you get the girls without going to the gym, but you're still not going to get the girls because you have to go to the gym. But if you want to master and polish all your statistics, let's call it statistical game. Can we call it that? Statistical game? If you want to hone your statistical game, you can go ahead and do that there. Bear with me here, guys. Just going through back office stuff. I feel like Theo in Die Hard, where he's like programming. Bum, bum, bum. All these old fart references none of you youngins are going to get. Is that all for that? That is all there is for that. All right. Let's go to a couple more super chats. And we got some asshole consulting we got to do because Cappy only got a certain amount of time to work. I got to go outside and run it. It's thankfully I'm more gainfully employed now than ever, but it is putting strains on my time. Cappy, put this towards the septic tank. I bought a nice ranch house last year and it cost a lot to bring things up to spec. Yeah. You're going to spend at least 10 grand, guys. Here's some general advice to everybody. If you're buying a house used, which is most houses, always say I want 10 grand off the price for stuff I'm going to have to fix. It could be plumbing. It could be an old heater. Stuff you should have an inspector go in and look for all this stuff. And she's going to come up with some, there's this, there's that. But you also want to say, yeah, you know what? I want 10 grand off. Now, maybe that's not possible. I know even though we have the coronavirus pandemic recession occurring, for some reason, the housing market keeps on going. And I really think it's because essential people are still employed. They're still making their money. And those are the people that can afford houses. Whereas the unessential people, this is not to besmirch wait staff or anything like that. They're usually not making as much. So they don't, and they're usually just trying to pay off their student loans or get by. They're not saving 20% down for a down payment on the house. So I think it's a very bifurcated market. But right now, yeah, you may not be able to get away with it, but just expect to spend at least 10 grand on, we got, I don't know, we need a new garage door opener. We need a new this, we got to add some paint. We got to do the roof or something, but just you expect to spend 10 grand fixing up a place. M2PG4, bought and read Pence Principle. Great short reminder that if it looks like a duck, it is a duck. Think with your upper head, not your own. Yeah, Randy Bentwick's book. No, that's not it. I got all these books right here. There you go. The Pence Principle. Just ask, what's his name? Captain Jack Sparrow. Johnny Depp about this. all these great books I got here, mine and others. Not to steal Randy's thunder, but honest to God, guys, here's another thing. Let's talk about young people investing. Okay. The real investment for young people is not to make millions day trading or investing in stocks or buying at the bottom of the housing market. That certainly would help. The main thing for young people is to just not fuck up. It's insurance. Not that you buy insurance policies, but you insure against stupid decisions, because that's what's really going to cost you your money down the road. And if it could be like, Nonstop Dre and a bunch of other you guys have emailed me. You sent me great emails about, oh, yeah, I was going to major in this piece. Dude, that right there is going to do, you could throw all your money into an IRA starting at 18. The fact you avoided going into debt for a stupid degree is what's going to make it so that you actually have an adequate retirement down the road. The fact you didn't knock up 3 women and now you got to pay out the 3 baby mamas, that is what's going to make your life good. And so it's just, and dodging bullets and not getting false, and then I had a video request. I thought he was trolling, and he's got a gal who offered him friends with benefits, and she is divorcing her husband, has a special needs kids, not even divorced yet. And she's like a rabid feminist, not your average run of the mill. Oh, yeah, I believe in women's rights, but like participates in BLM. And he's like, yeah, but it's free sex. I'm like, what? Just don't fuck up. I got a buddy. He was a nerd, still is a nerd. Programmer, make a good money. I'm like, good. And you all pick on nerds. They don't get laid. They don't go out and have fun. All right, fine. So be it. But something, all those NEETs, all those Dungeons and Dragons nerds and all that, guys like TJMartinell.com. Okay, fine. They're not getting laid. Well, that means they're not accidentally getting girls pregnant. And fine, you're a virgin until you're 25 or 26. You didn't get a girl pregnant. And you ask any guy whose girl's like, oops, I'm preggers, and oops, that happens. Yeah, good thing about abortion, right, Miss Leftist lady? But that's a right. I don't have to. The vasectomy life for me. Oh, the vasectomy life for me. Not for you or you or you. It's my whole life for me. You can't make me want to have a kid. You can't make me want to have a child. My life is going to be great while yours is fat and mild. All right. Some other guy's kid. Picturing a marching band to this. Where was I going? Yeah, so one of these major bullets to dodge, boys and girls, is the Penn Principle. It's not that long. It's an essay. Get it. Don't get a girl pregnant. Told those boys that when I was golfing. And like, what are you guys studying? Oh, statistics, actuarial science, physics. Good. Don't get girls pregnant. They laughed. Oh, they laugh. They think I'm joking. Robert Flores, $5. Unbearable heat outdoors for 5 months. You are missing the negatives about Texas, Southern Nevada, Arizona, and New Mexico. You're a snowbird, are biased hating snow and cold. No, I'm not biased hating snow and cold. You should hate snow and cold. And then when it's hot outside, I go to a different place. So there's the Northern Command and there's the Southern Command. And then I shut off the valves, spray for whatever critters are around, and then I leave. It's not that bad. Like Vegas in May, early May is just fine. Even June is okay. July and August, those are the bad ones. But then September. So it's only really 2 months. I love heat. I can golf easily in 100 degrees. As long as it's just a touch of a breeze and it's not humid in Vegas. I mean, absolutely no problem. Oh, then at night you can ride around on your motorcycle. It's warm enough. It's not freezing. But yeah, those 2 months, yeah. Then in South Dakota, when it snows and it's 10 below zero and there's ice and they shut down the highway, that's not me. I'm not there. I'm gone. That's to quote George Carlin. I'm down in Vegas where it's like 75 degrees. It's sunny, having a cigar out back. Chilling out in the Southern Command. Hanging out with my buddies, the Scorpions. My buddies, my chums, that I kill on a regular basis. Did you know, Matt? For $2 Canadian, what did you do after baking? Why not more education? Oh, fuck that. No. That was like a big thing for me. like, oh, I gotta get my MBA, because they really pushed. I know this may shock you, but at the Carlson School of Management, they want you to return to get your MBA so they can make another 50 grand. So you can relearn the same shit you learned beforehand because it really doesn't change. No, I didn't. There was no way I was going back to that. Now, I did go back to computer networking school, but then banking dragged me back in with a job I couldn't refuse. And then all that frugality and living in basements paid off. Now I can live off of a security guard salary. I'm not going, and if I'm going to go back for education, it's going to be for like physics. Do what I probably originally should have done, going in nuclear engineering. I'm not going to go get an MBA. I'm not going to get a degree, a master's in accounting. Maybe something computer related, but I don't even think I get a degree. I just go learn it. Because I don't have kids. A vasectomy life for me, a vasectomy life for me. Fuck you and him, because you're you, not me. And then what I do after banking, I worked security for a buddy of mine. I just did what I did. You know, I taught some dance classes, but that was very little. I had my online finance classes that I taught until I was bought out of that. But then by that time, I had paid off my house. You don't need a lot of money when you don't have a lot of expenses and you don't have kids you can't afford. It's amazing what happens when you don't have debt. Then what? And then by that time, Bachelor Pad Economics had come out, Worthless had come out, and the royalty sales were coming in. I'm like, oh, okay, it's working well. As long as I wrote a good post on my blog every once in a while, it was fine. And then as bandwidth increased, and also I did podcasts and YouTube, and now it's a crazy world we live in. And this is all icing on the cake, and the money all goes to a septic tank. But yeah, I've done my work. I busted my ass off working late night shifts, full-time school, full-time work back in college. I did ballroom dancing on the side. I did online classes. I did a full-time banking job. I lived in a basement. I did it without. I don't have to work anymore, which I'm trying to have a hard time coming to grasp with. Is like, you're just like, mowing down trees, mowing down everything. And then it's like, okay, you made it. And it's like, okay, now you just got to let go of that Gatling gun and chill out and relax. And it's really hard to do that. But every day I was like, feel guilt. Like I'm halfway through a post right now. Oh, you guys will get there. I've talked about this. You guys will get there. If you do not fuck up, you will be here. Mark my words. Some of you a full decade before I got here, and you'd be like, working hard. Also, you don't have to work no more. But you'll have this guilt, this compunction to keep working because that's all you know. Just like you think there's an Elysium. Just like you think there's that really cool girl who can carry a Tavor X95 and can cover your 6. And Taver, I'm sorry. It's a Taver. Shut up. It's an Israeli bullpup. It's nice. I like it. No, it's hard to let go of that. So you got to learn to chill out. And so what did I do after Bang? Ideally, what I'll do after, if I make the big bucks, if any of my books goes the viral, or my online classes goes the viral, and I make my millions of dollars, or just one lady buys my seed for $1.5 million after tax, which again is available, ladies. Any one of you want a high IQ, good looking, ballroom dancing, but incredibly short guy, you can have my seed for $1.5 million after tax. Anyway, when I get that money, I'm hiking and riding motorcycles, and maybe I'll write some books. Yeah, but I will be so late because then I don't have to work. Then I will know. Okay, I'll have retirement money. Everything will be taken care of. I'll even have a fully backed up plan B. So the United States could go to shit. I'll still be taken care of, and I'll just be like, I don't know, hanging out with Vox Day in Italy. If he'd be kind enough to talk to me and give me the time of day. Oh, that guy's hard to get in contact with. John Lewis dead body in D.C. today. Good riddance. Who's John Lewis? Is he like a pedophile? Or John Lewis, United States rep. Pancreatic cancer. Oh, why is he a commie or something? I don't care about politicians. I don't know. I'm sure if I looked him up, he never worked a day in his life. David Little, $2, working a compliance job by myself. Thanks, Cappy. Yeah, there you go. As long as you don't have, that's just as good as self-employment. Look, you guys don't, the main thing about self-employment is that you don't answer to a boss. But if your boss is sleeping, and who also is your boss is clients, if they're not around because you're working from midnight to 8 a.m., you really don't have a boss. You don't even have clients because they're all sleeping. And one of the rare complaints I got working security is I'm patrolling this office building, and there was this one office that had a video game. Like, I'm like, oh, cool. So, and then the secretary came in at like 5 a.m. Like, what are you doing here? I'm like, well, I'm playing the game and patrolling. And I'm like, and sure enough, a complaint was, I was like, fuck off, lady. I was in your office. I was making sure it's all right. But if that's it, there's no people around to file complaints, your boss isn't there, you effectively are self-employed at that time. Or if you're working from home, you don't, yeah, you got a boss, but you don't have to answer to him. Our loyal Boyle, Ronan Boyle, for £5 I overspent this month, Cappy. I bought aircraft slides with the copyright, got bored, saving my money, was wondering what you think, Captain, good or bad. What's aircraft slides? With the copyright. What's an aircraft slide? I don't know what that means. What's a copyright? Copyright on what? $50 for $5. Your cash will drop 75% in value. We are all slaves into the wind. To the WND? To the world? To the wind? World News Daily. All right. Let's get to some. All right, hang on. I remember this now. Let me. There. Okay. This is 133. And this comes from our buddy Kevin McComber. He has a request. Okay, now I got to go and pull up the actual channel, the actual one, so I can send this to Kevin so I don't have to email everybody. Good Morning Coronachan. There I am. Hey, I came recommended. 200. There we. Fucking Christ, computers. Aaron, are you combining 2 jobs in one? Yep. It's that busy. Our resident socialist writes, hey, Aaron, I'm seeking some advice. I'm considering a degree in accounting or the trades. I live in Boston, and the tradesmen make big money. If I can get an apprenticeship with a labor union, I can get paid while I learn. However, I'm not sure which trade is for me. I'm considering electrician, plumbing, HVAC, or carpentry. I'm also considering accounting, as I'm interested in everything to do with business, such as finance, economics, and personal finance. I love to learn about personal finance for fun from yourself, Dave Ramsey, Robert Kiyosaki, Warren Buffett, etc. I am from a working class family, so I know I'm not going to get a job at Goldman Sachs from my daddy, or can't sleep my way to the top either. So finance isn't an option, which is why I'm considering accounting major, finance major, cheap school. And I said, all right, how much time have you spent researching each trade? I've done some basic research on the internet about each trade and apprenticeship. I just don't want to commit to a 5-year apprenticeship without knowing which trade is right for me. Any advice you or your viewers would be greatly appreciated. All right, the only value, because I'm going to yell at you, Kevin. The only value are going to be guys who are in the trades or have done the trades. They're going to make comments in the comment section below. I can't tell you which one. I'm getting sick and tired. Chemical engineering and electrical engineering. I've never been either. I don't know. You're in the ballpark. Fucking do some research and figure it the fuck out. Everyone wants me to go make decisions for them. You guys don't want insight. You don't want wisdom. You don't want value. Like, oh, I got a real precarious situation here. What do I do? It's like, I don't know. What should I do? Well, fuck it. If you want me to tell you what to do for a living, I want commission. I want 20% of your fucking money. Electrician. There you go. Now cut me 20% of your fucking money. I mean, I had this one guy who's like, I went to pre-med, but I had to drop out because my grades weren't good. And this and that. But I was thinking about becoming a filmmaker. And I was like, are you trolling me? Are you fucking trolling me? But, I want to help out people. So I was thinking maybe I'll go into software engineering. But, I don't know. But do you think I should go software engineering and become a doctor? And I just ripped into it. I think what's the title? I think, I got my channel right here. Let's go to my channel. Pull it up. You are too lazy to be anything of value to society. If you guys can't do the basic research to find out what it is you want to do in society, what you want to do for a career, then you might as well not even try. If you're too lazy to research a profession, you're too lazy to go into the profession. Now, I understand Kevin's concern. Like, is there one way? He's probably asking, is there one way to sway me one way or another? Yes, more research. Go shadow. Go to a work site, say, apply as a general laborer. Teach yourself some electronic work. Do some HVAC. Watch it. I can't make the decision for you. All I can do is have other guys who are tradesmen who hopefully might be listening make some comments now. My answer is go research it some more. Go shadow people. Go watch. What's it like to be a plumber? I'm sure it stinks. What's it like to be an electrician? I bet you it's shocking. What's it like to be a carpenter? I don't know. I've done sheetrock. I've done mudding and taping. I've done some basic electrical wiring. I mean, does your dad or mom does some buddies need some work around the house? Why don't you just pick up dad, let's renovate the kitchen. Let's do it. Go on YouTube, figure it out. Doing a kitchen, you got to get electrical work, plumbing, and carpentry. So there you go. Hey, our buddy Atham is in here. He sent me this video. He's smoking his pipe and he's tubing down this river with a bunch of guys. He's got his, like as if he's the fucking world's most interesting man. It's like smoking. Hello, good evening. I am tubing down the river. Hey man, I am tubing down the river with my pipe. Loyal boil for another 5 British pounds. Oh, we already got that one. We already got that. There's $50. Hang on. Just don't want to have to go. They're 35 millimeter photos called slides. Well, hang on. I gotta find. Where's the original one, Boyle? I bought aircraft slides with the copyright. Got bored saving my money. You bought pictures of aircraft slides? Of 35. Why? What do you do with them? I mean, if this is a hobby, you like them, cool, fine. But I mean, and as long as they didn't bankrupt you. $50 for $2 to the end. Oh, to the end. That's what WND means. All right. Syndicate Chief $2. How do I get the trade jobs? Yeah. John LeBon, this is a new guy. $2 Australian. Iron Money making videos about the dino hoax. What's the dino hoax? That's kind of interesting. You should put a link down there, John. I would have. Oh, I bet you guys can't put links on super chats, can you? All right, so there. There you go, Kevin. Glad I busted your balls. Did I send that? Answer the question. Boom. Can archive that. Video would be great. All right. Let me go back to this because I got to get the correct thing. What time is it? It is 1:39. Let's just call this 1:40. I'm so glad I came up with these techniques. Boom. Aaron, hope you're doing good during these end times. Video request for you. I'm 28, single, work as a contractor in software engineering, large company. He makes north of 6 figs. I kind of want to anonymize it. Net worth of 90 grand, no debt, no kids, living in a nice warm place that I wouldn't live though. Saving about $5,500 per month. Always been an asset to teams at work. However, because of the economy slowing down, our department has been told to cut costs by a significant amount. Always been an asset to teams. More than likely, we'll see more cuts as the year progresses. Being a contractor, I've always been aware of us being the first to go if workers need to be cut. I happen to disagree. The contractors are not necessarily the first to go because they have to pay their employees health care. And so contractors, you could always just scale down the hours. All right. Employees, I don't know if I agree with that premise. Depends on the company, I guess. Depends on the product or the nature of the work, but I would not think you're necessarily the first to go. But we will find out. I'm also trying to start an e-commerce business, as I've seen many non-technical people succeed in there. Okay, did they succeed or did they just tell you they succeed as they order bottle service in Vegas? I like to get my piece of it as well. Looking at a mid-late August to start creating ads. All right. I also may have an opportunity to work at one of the top tech companies as an employee, which may pay significantly more than you make now, including a signing bonus. That is significant. Given all that's going on right now, what do you think of the options that lay ahead of me? Should I drop the contract and pursue the job? Should I work both the contract and the job? Both would be remote. Should I say fuck it and do all three? Thanks again, Cappy. Cheers. A little mug of beer there. And I said, so you are a contractor and could work a full-time gig, potentially pulling off both at the same time. Then you may have a business idea that may or may not work. Well, how young are you and how long do you think you can work 80 hours a week? Yes, there are actually a few contractors where I work that also have full-time gigs. Seems commonplace. You are young enough, you can do both. I'm not going to give you a specific age. Thankfully, I'm pretty good at my job and I always end up working 20, 30 hours a week while billing 40 hours. I just got an update on the stocks. It's 100,000 stocks invested over 4 years. Okay, whatever that is. I feel like I could work both for a few months before getting burned out. Nope. Nope. You got to do better than that. You got to do better than that. You have a rare, just got to listen. The universe is trying to tell us something, Peck. You guys, you have to, for at least a 3-year period. Well, maybe not 3, but at least a 2-year period, do 80 hours a week. Just so you know what it takes. Okay? So you know what you're capable of. Yes, your health is going to go to pot. Yes, it's going to suck. But if you do that, you're just going to save yourselves decades of time down the road. Yeah, here's what I'm going to recommend you do. Forget your e-shipping, drop shipping business. Okay? No, you're not good. Unless you had like a really great idea that no one else had. But if you're saying, dude, bro, look at all those people that say they make money. No. You're already an entrepreneur. You're a contractor. You work from home. You don't answer to a boss really. Right? And now you have the opportunity to double it. Okay. What I would do is I would absolutely take the other job. All right. And keep working as a contractor. And you're going to do both for as long as fucking human possible. It's not like you got anywhere to go because people are forcing us to stay home for the Corona-Chan. Okay. Now's the idea. If there's a time to work 2 jobs from home, this is the only time in history, certainly the only time in your life, you are going to have this opportunity and not really lose out on it. What do you go to the nightclubs? Can you go out and go party on the beach or go to the club? I mean, what's your opportunity? There's no opportunity cost. You're forced to stay at home. Now is the time. And you are young enough, you can do this more than a couple months. Now, me being the forever pessimist and cynical individual, what I'm going to forecast happens is you go sign up with the other company and they're going to lie about it. So, and it's not going to turn out the way you are. And then you're still going to have your contractor job. But absolutely, man, you take both of these and you make damn sure. Like if you could pull this off for the next 2 years, you could go buy yourself a house in Vegas. Okay. And then you're done. DUN, done. Okay. You're not going to have this opportunity again. You're not. You're just not. Now with this timing, you might be able to work 2 jobs remotely, but not when there's nothing fucking going on otherwise. Not when there's no opportunity cost. So that's what I would do. So there you go. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, man. And then you got your 90K in cash. You build that up to like 290K or maybe just 250. Boom. Go buy yourself a nice little house in Vegas or wherever you want to go, man. Wherever you want to go. And then you're done. And then you're like, I'm out of here. Good night. Heck, if you're remote working now, what are you doing in that state? Why don't you go to Vegas or Texas or Reno or wherever else you want to go? But that's what I would do. Okay. That one worked out. Okay, all right. I answered that. I could put that in the archive. Look at how much progress. Look at the GDP, guys. I'm telling him to triple dip. I'm triple dipping right now. Everybody do the triple dip. Do the triple dip. Hey, go on welfare. No, that's not us. Do the triple dip. Video response. Oh, this is going to be a standalone one. That's we'll be doing that one. I'll be doing that one as an independent one. David Barnett sent me an article. Are we caught up? Oh, look at that clean email. Oh, isn't that wonderful? Wait, did he pay? No, he didn't pay. This guy wants Chad to come on the show. Boom. This guy. Hang on. He wants an email response. Oh, here's some fan mail. Let's read through this. It's a little bit lengthy. Actually, let me make sure I'm not falling behind on super chats. How do I get paid to yell at Kevin DeLon for $5? You just have to be. You have to go to the Carlson School of Management and major in asshole studies. We all yell at Kevin. At least he's honest. He asked the questions, you know. I just get sick and tired of this make my decisions for me bullshit. And that's all it is. You know, maybe I just ought to shut up. Okay, make your decisions for you. That's $200. And no, you can't come back and complain. You know, are you even human if you want other people to make your decisions for you? You just, decide for me. Okay, well then why are you here? Why are you alive? Fred Freeman Sowell. I'm enjoying how not to become a millennial so much that my dad wants to read it now. How possible to work 2 jobs remote now due to COVID? Well, we just had that question. Yeah, the guy, it's pretty possible, but you have to have the skill set. And again, once it pigeonholes you into programming or IT or computers. So if you're in that field, yeah, it's very possible. It's probably even more I mean, now they've expanded it, you know, like accounting, any kind of white collar work that can be done on the computer. So I guess it's more possible now than it's ever going to be. Because certainly more than the past, but going into the future, I don't know how the boomer bosses and the Gen X bosses are going to respond. There was an article in the Wall Street Journal about how some of these bosses saying, we don't like people working from home. Well, too fucking bad. So there's going to be some Karens and Nazis. They're going to want to control you and have you come back. I'm somewhat more optimistic. I think if this keeps going longer and longer, enough of the infrastructure will be invested that people are already working from homes. Like, why do we need to spend money on this office space or rent office space at all? People are just saying, no, I'm used to working at home now. I'm never going back. I don't have to do this. I mean, I could have told them this a decade ago, but some people, because they're not some people, all people, because the sheep need to have it really jammed in their face. They really need to have it jammed in their face. But I would think optimistically, I know it sounds optimistic for me. I think only half the people are going to go back to work. And a good half of that are going to be people who want to go back to work because they can't stand their wives or their husbands or their kids, or they're just sick and tired of being at home. I mean, I've been at home, gosh, coming up on 8 years now. And the first thing I do is get the fuck out of here and go do something. I can't stay in the house. Because old Cappy will get on, I'll go take a shower. I'm like, oh God, I get out of Now it's more possible now than it ever has been or ever will be. So, you know, make hay while it shines. Get your money while you can. That's it. Do we want to do some idiot guy got killed protesting in Austin? It's a he said kind of thing. Protesters were blocking his street. You picked on the wrong guy. Guy was trying to drive through. Rightfully, he was very angry at you people. He claims this guy named Foster pointed an AK-47 type of rifle at him, and then the guy shot him. Now Foster is dead. Garrett Foster. He's dead. Unfortunately, his girlfriend's quadriplegic, was pushing around in a wheelchair, I guess. And that's all I'm going to really say about the article, because it's all speculation, but except for the fact that it is a fact, Garrett Foster is dead. What's her name? Summer. What's her name? Summer Taylor. Summer Taylor. She's dead. You guys remember that? She went out into to protest in the street again. There's a book. There's a guy. I forget his name. His name's George something. He wrote a book called "Don't Play in the Street," but it's a great book. We could give it to all the Antifas and SJW. Don't play in the street. Just for your own good, so you don't die or get. And this, what was it? Some guy also just blew through a group of people. A bunch of people were injured. There was a Russian semi-truck driver in the Twin Cities. They're blocking a bridge. He didn't know. Probably wasn't that good at English. Also, he's barreling down at 65 miles an hour and had to slam on the brakes. He could have wiped out a whole bunch of you guys. But you guys want to play in the street. And so now here's another guy. He's dead. You know, other things called don't resist arrest. I mean, how many people unnecessarily died because they were resisting arrest? George Floyd would be alive today if he didn't resist it. But he's got to take a step. Just set your emotions aside. Set your hate aside. Set your blind, political, cultist, monolithic, NPC thinking aside. If you can do that, and just think and say, George Floyd would be alive if he didn't resist arrest. Not saying he was in the wrong. Not saying he was in the right. Or if the cops come up to you, say, put your hands behind your back. I had that happen. A guy called me and said I almost ran him over, all this other stuff. And 6 cops later with 5 squads. It was a slow day in Vegas. And I am hands behind my back, sitting on the hood of a, no, I wasn't on the hood. I was on like some kind of concrete planter. And here I am tying up I sucked at least an hour and a half of cop time out of the Las Vegas Police Department. Yes, sir. No, sir. Oh, have you been drinking? No, sir. Are you sure? Yes, sir. Why don't you give me a breathalyzer? We can all go home. By the way, where's the complainant? Is he around? Or did he go away? And so I'm here to talk about it. So, you know, but don't play in the street. Don't resist arrest. Don't commit crimes. Whatever. What else? Don't drink and drive. I don't know how we got on this about how not to become a millennial. What else we got? Fred Friedman Sowell for $5. Why is Chicago so communist when so many capitalist Nobel Prize economists worked at the University of Chicago? The University of Chicago is, think of it of a reverse cancer. All of Chicago is a cancer, but you know, there's like, they got moles. The cancer has a mole of like good, healthy cells. You know, there's some good parts of every city. There's productive areas. And in this case, it's a university that's particularly intellectual. I mean, it's not a factory. They're not banging out machine parts or anything there, but it's a haven. It's a little hamlet, little dome of independent thought. I'm sure there's a history to the University of Chicago as to why it's gotten that philosophy or that school. there. But it's a nice part. South Hyde Park. It's on the south side of Chicago. You think south side, you think like it's crap. Well, if you go to Chicago, you go immediate south side. You're like, this is actually really nice. And there's the Science and Industry Museum. And look at this campus. And look at this beach. Well, that's the nice south side. That's where your buddy Barry comes from. And I think Jesse Jackson also has a place there. That's where all the rich black people live. That's where a lot of rich white people live too, by the way. It's a nice area. Then you got to go in a little bit. Anything along Highway 41 still relatively nice. You got to go in a little bit inland and further south of that. And then that's where the bad part, the quote unquote south side of Chicago is. I don't know why Chicago's there. Well, I know why it's there, make a lot of money, but I don't know its origins. So yeah, don't play in the street. Don't resist arrest. Don't commit crimes. Don't punch cops. That's along the same thing as don't remember the little midget guy he went on a rampage. Well, he wasn't a midget. He was a very short guy. He went on a rampage yelling at gals and guys about them being taller. And the big guy just grabbed him. I don't know if it body slammed him or shut him up or punched him or something like that. Don't pick on people bigger than you. As a smaller guy, just saying, there's some things you have to do to get, to not die. And so that guy died on that. I don't know. Do I want to pick on this guy? This Alex Madsen. There was an article written in Canada. This is David Burnett sent this. At the age of 46, Alex Madsen had to move forward, couldn't stay the same, seeking greater financial security for his family. The Moncton musician overcame all of his fears and self-doubt and enrolled in the public program at NBCC, proving it's never late to change. Now he's sharing his experience in a song designed to show others they can also make a change. Here I was, this old beat-up 46-year-old guy had been out on his road his whole life, he said. My friends thought I was crazy, but I said, I got to do this. I decided to become a plumber, and by June of the following year, I was at work at block number 1 plumber. Country music band, the Divorcees, commissioned to write a promotional song, The song is Never Too Late for Change. It's on SoundCloud. Guess how many people have tuned into this? How many plays it has? 51. Now, by comparison, the old Capmeister gets about 1,000 listenings to me rambling on about stupid stuff and my dumb opinions. And so I kind of like, okay, but was he a bad musician? Was he your stereotypical, dude, man, I'm going to become a rock star? Or was he a hard hustler like Matt Baldoni? And now because of coronavirus, the real legit musicians are suffering. Then I look into him, I'm like, wait, 51 plays. He was playing at the Elks Club. But there's nothing wrong playing at the Elks Club. And I'm like, okay. This was Mr. Marginal musician. Someday I'm going to make it. But I was like, his poor wife, he says he's got wife and kids. You're married to a 46-year-old wannabe guitarist, like still hanging on to that dream. And he's not bringing home the money. 46 decides to become a plumber. And I will give him credit because he finally set his ego aside, said, fuck this shit. And I'm wondering how many wannabe musicians are out there. How long, I got to ask Matt, like, how long does the delusion go for most of those musicians? For musicians who are never going to make it, how long does the delusion go? Will you ruin your children and your family's life? Like, will you just put your ego ahead of everything else? Will you do that into your 50s or 60s until you're dead? I know Marxists do that. I know leftists go all the way. They'll take it to the grave because they have nothing else. But are musicians kind of the same thing? Or do they never like, oh, dude, man, better throw something into the IRA. At least I get the extra $500 catch-up donation. All right. Fernando Covid, our Brazilian agent in the field. Baby is teething, threw up on the bed. Lots of fun. Oh, hey, Fernando, I didn't know you had a kid. Oh, congratulations. Do they throw up teething? That's more like 2-3 years old, isn't it? Well, they teeth at about 1. I'm just going off of based on my nurses. All right, that's it. Cappy going to go. Let us all bow our heads and wait, holy woo. I almost didn't promote my own shit. What do we think? That's the only reason we're here. All right, get the book on how to become a millennial. July for the next 3 days. is don't become a millennial month. Avoid the fate of millennials by, well, you're all probably too old by now because you're born into the generation you are, but avoid having the life of a millennial by not becoming one. Get the book, How Not to Become a Millennial. Give this to younger people today because they desperately need it, and nobody's going to listen to it. Along the same lines, Worthless. Get that book for a young man or woman that's about to go off to college so they can ignore it too. And I have been getting a lot of emails, though. It's been very nice. Thank you for those of you who sent in the email. Like Cappy in 2016, you convinced me. And now, 3 years later, I was going to be a psychology major, but I'm a CPA making good money. And it's awesome. Or the trade story. I was going to major in this, but I went into trades. And my friends all suck. So that's so good. Reconnaissance Man by me. This is an important book, especially during the coronavirus. Now's the time to travel. Syndicate Chief should read this book because it's kind of the place I'd recommend he go. But now's a good time to figure out where you want to live in the United States, if you want to live in the United States, and for $12.95 or whatever this costs, paperback into audiobook. Don't get in an audiobook because there's a lot of I only cost myself money when I say it, but the charts and the maps in here are very important. So it's up to you. But please at least do invest some of your time and money in finding out where to travel. The Best of Captain Capitalism. This one is top shelf. There's The Best of Captain Capitalism reserved. And Love Letters to the Left, which I have right here. This is just a compilation of my best blog posts that you could find on Amazon. So if you're bored reading through all my other stuff. Bachelor Pad Economics. This one's on fire. I don't know who's promoting it or if it's just people are recommending it. Flagship product. Everybody go read. What else are you going to do during COVID? Enjoy the decline as more people get playing in the streets and killed because they're playing in the streets. And they're protesting for more of your money because they all majored in liberal arts and they're a bunch of angry fucking parasite communists, cowardly hiding behind race or racial strife. Go get the book. Enjoy the Decline, Accepting Living with the Death of the United States. For everyone in attendance, Curse of the High IQ. Because it sucks to be really brilliant. Trust me, I know. Oh, you sound so arrogant and cocky. Right there. Right. For how many years? That was one thing I always got to kick. All these years, like, oh, you think you're better than us. I'm like, no, I never, what is, and then all of a sudden, oh, no, I'm just smarter than you. And I remember one people getting pissed off because I used the word subsidize. Well, you think you're smarter than us? Like, what? What are you talking about? Subsidize? What? You know what I found out? Yeah, I am smarter than you fucking assholes. Go fuck yourselves. Go have more illegitimate kids. Go major in dumbass shit. Go spend more money. Go get your big ass truck because you got a small dick and you got no life and you could tow your boat that you can't afford. Go do it. Mr. IQ of 105 with your general business degree. Go do it. Tell your hog of a wife I said hello. And then the black man's got out of poverty because once again, we do hate black people on the show, especially me. That's why I wrote a book helping out our fellow black men to get out of poverty. And I will stand by that book saying that will do more to help the black community than the past 60 years of Democrat welfare policies have. Because let's think about it. How hard is it to beat Detroit? Not that hard to beat Minneapolis, Detroit, Compton. You could just say, here's a hut in a field. Okay, just this little shack. It's got a little, kitchenette and a bathroom and a bedroom and maybe a little reading table. All right. That right there with nothing else going on is better than what the Democrat Party has forced upon the black community for the past 60, 70 years. Don't listen to me. I mean, because they tell you what you want to hear. It's not your fault. See, it's not your fault. So now go live in squalor and filth because at least they didn't say, hey, maybe you're responsible. Maybe you have some agency. Maybe you should change some behaviors. Or, hey, maybe it should be under your power to make changes in your life. And then if you make your own decisions and take ownership of your life, you will have better outcomes. Oh, no, that hurts the feels too much. We can't have none of that. So we're going to continue to live in squalor and filth and blame other people. All right. Well, anyway, when you are done, and you want to get out of poverty, and you want to do better. I'm talking to my fellow black man. I'm not black. Okay. I'm talking to my fellow man who happens to be black. When you're done with that, and you don't want to have the Section 8 lifestyle that your single mom had, and you're like, fuck this shit. I got one life. I want to live it. Get that book. There we go. All right, now. Boom, we're done with that. Now, everybody bow our heads. Dear great merciful Corona-chan, thank you for the non-sentient and zero fucks given truth, the teeth and threats that have been missing so much from the real world that are yet necessary for us to value life, acknowledge truth, and love our fellow man. May your nature continue to expose the evil and parasitic among us, the lazy and those that have put themselves above all others, our slave masters who have kept us enslaved, teachers who could be replaced by YouTube, and the stupid and unprepared who ride for toilet paper when there is none. Bless us, O great Corona-chan, and reward us specifically those of us who are smart enough to have a 1 month supply of toilet paper and who stocked up on 5.56 ammo as a matter of basic insurance policy. And may thine blessing come in the form of lower acid prices, less boomers, less traffic, cheap gas, and near-free airline flights. In thy name, Wuhan, Wuhan. Amen. That's it. Everyone have a good one. Share and spread the good word of the great and merciful Corona-chan. We'll see you kids later. Toodles.